like all sorority girl narcissists, there is nothing the Congresswoman from New York's 14th Congressional District enjoys more than giving herself new nicknames. In high school in leafy Westchester County, she was known as Sandy Cortez. We still call her that because of all her various pseudonyms. That one fits the best. And then, when she became a member of Congress, she adopted the august and faintly exotic title Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, which sounds like the name of one of Che's girlfriends in revolutionary Bolivia. You can just picture her in the back of the motorcycle in a beret. And then, when she ascended still higher and became a Kardashian, this very same person began going by simply AOC, Queen of TikTok. But along the way, and most people do not know this, she had still another name. During the 2018 Democratic primary, in which she beat party stalwart Joe Crowley by attacking him for being white, Sandy Cortez went by the name Alex. Just Alex, your friendly neighborhood gender nonspecific bartender. Alex. On Alex's campaign website at the time, there was a section explaining what Alex believed. One of Alex's views read this way, quote, Alex believes that we must end the forever war by bringing our troops home and ending the airstrikes and bombings that perpetuate the cycle of terrorism and occupation throughout the world, end quote. Now, few people noticed this because for a self-described progressive, that didn't seem like a very surprising position. And on the day that Sandy Cortez, Alex, beat Joe Crowley in the primary, that statement was still on her website. But then it disappeared. No one noticed except a journalist called Samira Khan. Hey, what happened to the anti-war part? Now, Alex, who by this point had morphed into Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, blamed the deletion of this position on her supporters, who she claimed were running the website and had done it accidentally. Who knows what happened to it? But Samira Khan sensed there might be more to the story. How long, she asked at the time, will we be moaning on and on about single payer while there's bipartisan support for nuclear Armageddon? Well, that turned out to be a pretty good question, Samira Khan. In fact, it's no longer a rhetorical question. There is indeed now bipartisan support for nuclear Armageddon. We're not making that up. Joe Biden said it out loud at a fundraiser the other day. Oh, by the way, nuclear Armageddon on the way. Okay. And then Republicans in Congress said nothing, which is to say they backed him up. And Sandy Cortez, she stayed totally silent. And that really is the point. Now, if you're watching this show, it's likely you don't really care what's going on in the so-called progressive movement. It's not one of your interests. And why would you care? They're mostly trustafarian clowns. They're jokes, kids with weird hair, pointless liberal arts degrees, stupid fantasy-based politics. That's who they are. But it's also true that over time, people like this can be useful. Sometimes you want principled people taking principled positions. It keeps the system in balance. You need that. Not everyone can be a mercenary.
What a joke!
Otherwise, you wind up with what we have now, which is true insanity. An ironclad consensus in Washington that we somehow have a moral obligation to destroy ourselves and our children's future in an utterly pointless war against Russia. What? Everyone seems to think that. And we mean everyone on both sides, from liberals like Nancy Pelosi to conservatives like Joni Ernst and everyone in between them. And that's a huge problem because it's insane. Someone needs to say it's insane out loud and break the spell, the hypnotism. That would be the job of a so-called radical like Sandy Cortez. That's why she exists. Now, you may despise her. Obviously, we do. We say so often. But at certain key moments, people like that have a role. They stand up and they tell the essential truth. No, we should not go to war with Russia. What are you kidding? This is lunacy. Pull back. And if Sandy Cortez did that, it might actually help. It might actually save the country. But that's not what Sandy Cortez is doing right now, because it turns out she is not at all what she claims to be. Sandy Cortez may hate white people, seems like she does, but that doesn't mean she's progressive, much less liberal in any meaningful sense. No, she's the opposite. Turns out she's just another stooge, like Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, a willing tool of soulless corporate power who will always side with Google, JP Morgan, and Raytheon against the working people she claims to represent. On no subject is this more glaringly obvious than the Ukraine war. That war provides absolutely no benefit of any kind to her constituents, or by the way, to any other normal American. For the people of Queens and the Bronx, that war is all downside. No upside whatsoever. So last night at a sparsely attended town hall in the Bronx, two of Sandy Cortez's constituents said that out loud. Watch this.
Hey, that's pretty good.